inside of the Rogers studio for another episode of Knights Talk. I'm your host, Matt Sanderson. Alongside of me this evening, we have David, Reid, and Bob Gerretson. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, so probably not the kind of the week that you were necessarily anticipating. Let's bring up the most recent games that the Knights played here. This past week, they lost 6-1 to the Bradford Rattlers and 8-4 to Bancroft. Obviously it was a tough week, guys, but Bob, we'll start with you on this one. What did you make and what do you kind of take away from these two losses?
I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's tough playing like this. I mean, we want to win the games. Against Bancroft, we played really well the first two periods, but it's just the third period. It's a hard period for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
David, when you hear the terminology 60 minutes of hockey, I know it's such a cliche sometimes, but how important is that for you guys to really try to capitalize on 60 minutes?
Yeah, I think the last few games we've come up short in that part, playing 60 minutes, and we always seem to be starting good, and we always and then in the third period it just falls apart a little bit. I think we just lose hope when they score a goal, and then we just gotta find a way to make sure we get that energy back from the first and the second.
Absolutely, yeah. So without further ado, let's show you the highlights from the Thursday night game against the Bradford Rattlers.
And welcome to the St. Vincent Meaford Community Center here tonight for the GMHL hockey game between the Knights of Meaford and the Bradford Rattlers. The penalty kill for the Knights of Meaford there, I'll quickly check, is 83.8%, which again is pretty good for this league. So it'll be interesting to see what the Rattlers can do with the final about 20 seconds there of this power play.
Well, like we've said, and as many players have said, Mike Dick, number 91, who changed his number to number 5.
Austin Bishop put down low, fighting for it there, comes around, can't get a shot off, back up top for Olga. Olga fights for it there as he gets a peek around.
Good dangle there. Coming in hot, trying to put it in front, and that's a shot, and that's a goal by number 3 on the Bradford.
Absolutely, and about 3:20 left in the game as, Larson, if I can get the words out of my mouth there. Larson takes a little bit of a shove. There's a pop back across, slap shot, good. Actually, it's in. I thought he caught it, and it's in.
Played his old college hockey career with the University of Connecticut.
And the back cross crease and a goal there as I see Noah Preston give me the whistle there. It looked like Knights of Meaford there. Around goes. Around went there, number 55. There, Georgie Lachine. The backhander scores! And there is Georgie Lachine. Forward there, 4. Looks like Gosling. Gosling gets by 1. Gosling, it's scored! Jonathan Gosling! Back Hillsworth I've had twice. I've had Moose. I've had, of course, Noah Preston here beside me, and then I've had there Anthony McHale for about a period and a half. Is a good deke there by Mike Dick there. Gets it.
Whistle that one up.
And it looks like that will end us here tonight between the Knights of Meaford and the Bradford Bulls. Very disappointing game there for the Knights of Meaford coming into this game after a good showing there against Tacoma Singh, but just didn't get the win there.
Just one of those games, chalk it up and kind of move on to the next one. We'll go and we'll take a look at the upcoming schedule here in just a second, and I'll just kind of pick your guys' brain on these upcoming games. You're sitting in 10th place right now in the North Division. You've got 3 games left. 1 against the Bulls, 1 against New Tecumseh, and 1 against South Muskoka. You're only 4 points back of South Muskoka. You take a look at those last 3 games that you have coming up here, David, and what's the mindset trying to go in here and maybe try to squeeze into that 9 spot?
You know, looking back at the season, I don't think we got a lot to lose. I mean, we just trying to change our mindset for the next 3 games.
For sure.
And just trying to get those points and make sure we at least don't finish last in the regular season.
Bob, when you take a look at those games, obviously some very big ones there. Hence, new Tecumseh, even the Bradford Bulls, who are in third place right now in the conference. If you even just take away one of those victories from one of those big teams, is that also going to be a big accomplishment for this young Knights team?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It will be. Yeah, I mean, all of the games are really important for us right now. I mean, we just want to get to the 9th place, and otherwise we just got to beat the 9th place in the playoffs. So, yeah, that's our focus for now, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's go and bring up the standings where everybody currently sits. And Temiskaming, obviously, not running away with things anymore, as them and Ville Marie for the last couple of weeks really been battling back and forth there. 63 points for Temiskaming. You've got New Tecumseh there in 5th place. You got the Bradford Rattlers in 4th with the Bulls just 3 points ahead of them, and then it's Bancroft, Almaguin, West Nipissing, South Muskoka, and then the Knights there. You see only 4 points, as I mentioned earlier, separating South Muskoka from the Meaford Knights. Let's go over to the South Division, and St. George leading the way there. Kind of a little bit of a cushion with these last couple games remaining. It looks like they are probably going to close this out on top there, but who knows what could happen. Niagara put a big charge on as of late. Them and North York both tied with 58 points. Kingsville in there, 1 point behind them. London, who had a very good turnout this season, they're 20-19. They got 40 points on the year. Northumberland, and then Durham, and then Windsor, Tottenham, and then Toronto down at the bottom there. We'll go over to GMHL scoring, and we'll take a look at Mark Antoinette and Yannick Ethier from Temiskaming running away with things there, along with Zachary Mayhew too, and then St. George, it's Kyle West with 110 points, and then you've got Christian Palillo, Vincent Ethier. All these guys just basically been really in those same spots for quite some time. Riley Nadeau, Kellen Rosenbaum, you've got Cedric Terrian and Mike Dick also rounding out your top 10. We'll go over to Meaford scoring leaders. Felix Lecomte leading the way, 35 points for him, along with Ashton Coleman and Jonathan Gosselin behind him. Jack Hillworth, and then you've got Emil Larson, you've got Xavier Kaza, Alex Bolduck there in your top 8, and then rounding things out is Alex Beardmore with 10 points on the season for him. All right, guys, tell us maybe a little bit about where you guys were before you came to the Knights. Bob, let's start with you.
I played in Sweden for 4.5 years now, so I came to the Knights just after the Christmas break, so I haven't been here that long. I started my season with Arlanda Wings, it's called. It's a team that's around Stockholm.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What brought you to the Knights?
I mean, I changed teams in Sweden.
Yep.
And I didn't really like it in my new team. I mean, I was doing good. That's not the issue, but just the coaching around it and the team, it just didn't fit me that well. So I really wanted to come to Canada or the US next year, so that's why I chose to try it out now. I mean, I haven't been here that long, and the season is almost over, so that's why I wanted to try it out.
Still picking up 5 points so far this season, despite the fact that you just started kind of after Christmas, so that's kind of a good thing there, getting your feet wet early on. David, how about yourself?
Yeah, I've played for 14 years in Holland, all my life for my hometown club. And Danny just contacted me from the Knights, and he was really positive, and I was like, I just wanted to give it a try, and went to training camp. Turned out to be a great experience, and she wanted to stay, and I loved it here in Canada. It was my big dream to come to Canada and play even one season. Is amazing, and it's been amazing so far.
What do you think of the little town of Meaford, Ontario?
Well, the first time I came here was it's beautiful. I like the lake. We're in a big lake, and the people are awesome. So
For sure.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, and Bob, for yourself, you're probably used to kind of playing in maybe bigger arenas. So what's it like playing in the small barn of the St. Vincent Community Center?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar to Sweden,
Okay.
actually. I mean, I've played in big arenas, but also in small arenas. That's like Sweden and Canada are pretty similar, I think.
For sure.
So it's nice. I mean, it's strange, the smaller ice.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's fine. It
Abs-
works. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to just ask you one more thing here before you go. Obviously, upcoming games. We alluded to it earlier. If you have to pick one thing, Bob, that's important for you guys to try to excel at in this upcoming game, what would that be?
Yeah, 60 minutes playing hockey.
Sure.
And so that's like the biggest issue for us, I think, right now.
Okay.
And then just gotta keep it going. I mean, when we get down or like they score a goal, we just gotta keep going. That's like really important for us right now, I think, and get together.
Yep. And David, for yourself, outside of 60 minutes, what's something that you guys really need to?
I think communicate a lot on the ice.
Good.
Talk to each other on the bench, give positive feedback, and just tell the guys what to do and make sure we get the job done.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we wish you all the best in these next 3 games that you have coming up. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank
No
you very
problem.
much.
Thank you.
All right. And we thank you very much for joining us here. Next week, I think we're going to have 2 more members, or at least some kind of wrap-up or post-wrap-up before our final one. So we encourage you to join us next week here on Knights Talk, same time.